Yeah, I remember my go talk too.
Mine is for this. He left Kobe out the top 10, and he got LeBron 10th.
Oh,
Okay, all right, shit. All right, go
go
ahead,
go
Luke.
go.
Luke, back on mute. Let's shit. Luke, go ahead, and go. Irvin Magic Johnson. I mean, literally before Kobe Bryant became, number 24, Kobe Bryant ascended. Magic Johnson is my favorite basketball player ever. And it started from the beginning of his career and it went to the end. We talk about Kareem winning through high school and college. Magic record, but he did that. Then the high school champion, college champion, champions first season in the league. First player that we've seen that could play all five positions effectively. 19-year-old rookie, game 6. Back against the wall. Didn't use any excuse. Kareem going down with ankle injury, jump center, went 42, 12, and 7, I believe, as a 19-year-old rookie. Was awarded MVP. Multiple league, multiple viable players, final MVPs. Went 5-4 in the finals through the glory years of the 80s. His work as an advocate, as an HIV survivor, I guess we could say, then to go to his business acumen, and to continue to work in the Black community, empowering peoples in those communities. Just his whole mantra of economic empowerment. That's why he's my GOAT for the week.
Okay. So my go for this week is who I consider the purest scorer I've seen play basketball. Um, Kevin Durant, but I'm not going to talk about his basketball exploits because he hasn't played in a year. More so talking about his one of his investments. He turned $1 million he put into Uber, I believe, into 15 million, and for me that kind of just one, he's been doing a lot of off the court stuff and good stuff. He had the documentary. Damn it, the name's escaping me, but it's about PG County and basketball in PG County, and how PG County is really a hotbed.
It's in the water.
In the water, there it is. That PG County is really a hotbed for NBA talent, and putting that out there. So he's doing that. He has the television show as well. And I guess just for me, it kind of goes to show that like the biggest thing with like financial literacy is having the money. So, he had $1 million to turn into an investment of 15 million. Had the money to put in to start uh, the documentary, produced the other show. I don't want to say the wrong show because I know LeBron has
The boardroom.
I was about to say the boardroom, but the boardroom, and just the other stuff. I think he's growing into himself. He definitely has grown up some and owned some of his actions. He got caught with a couple Twitter burner accounts, but he owns them and says, "Hey, sometimes I just feel like getting on another account and just going back at people." But I think he's kind of the evolution or what we're seeing for the next type of modern athlete on Twitter, going back and forth, interjecting with fans, but at the same time still diversifying this portfolio. So I just wanted to shout that out. Someone doing quote unquote good things with their money. Yeah, so that's my good stuff for the week.
So, Alphonse, I have a question for you. How do you think he's gonna come back when he does? I'm just asking. I'm not gonna yes or no. Just how do you think? What do you think he'll go ahead?
The first year he'll have lower production, but I think that second year he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to lose much because he didn't get shorter. He's still 7 feet tall, right? And his game isn't jumping over the rim. Like, he can dunk, but it's not like his game was like, I'm just more athletic than you. His game was like, I'm gonna get to my spot, and then I'm 7 feet tall, and I can shoot, so I'll always be able to shoot over anybody for the most part. So I think he'll be fine.
Okay. All right. I have a question for Mr. Daniels, though. Can I rebut your statement? Oh, not rebut. I have a question. Jordan 6 rings. Pick any of those seasons and compare it to LeBron winning in Cleveland. From a basketball standpoint, which one is harder?
Man, I don't know.
I rest my case, Your Honor. No further questions to the witness.
Winning in Cleveland in 2016.
Whichever one, he only got one in Cleveland. Right? They get two.
I mean, say
you thought he had
in
two in Cleveland?
No, he may just get into the finals.
Because there's two versions of the LeBron Cavaliers.
When he got the money, when he got the ring, when he defeated the Quest, and compare that to any other Jordan when you could pick your best one, which one is harder?
Which is harder?
Yeah.
If we're going to compare, I'd say Jordan's first championship.
You think that was harder? I thought you was going to go with the last.
Do I think it's harder? Oh, you saying the finals? I don't think any.
There you go. Yep.
Finals was harder, but
Jordan never had a finals where he was the underdog.
When I sit here and say that, but even LeBron, they overcame so much. They had a little bit of help. As subjective as it may be, they had help. There's no.
Your Honor, can you instruct the witness to answer the question, please?
What's the question again?
You already answered it. You already answered it.
I don't think I have.
You did. You did. You said none of them. That was the answer, and that's the actual answer.
I was actually still in mid-thought. I'm just thinking out loud.
Well, now that you've been, refreshed on the question, can you please get the answer again?
Are any of Jordan's finals harder than the one that LeBron had?
Yes.
In Cleveland.
And the answer is no.
Are any of them harder?
No. No.
Well, there are extenuating factors that made that one.
I need your
easier.
Nah, even if you even them all out, the answer is no. They played the Lakers, who were fading out. Then they played the Blazers. Come on now. The Suns weren't a better team than them. The Sonics weren't a better team.
Those would have been the two that I would have said. But even the Sonics, I think that's
who did the Cavs beat again? They beat the who?
The Warriors.
Okay, all right, making sure.
I'm not even going to
But I mean,
all I'm saying is, even on their face, even without the help, Jordan never was an underdog. Never, ever, never.
Okay.
So
I don't get what. Okay, all right.
Is that I'm a fan of the underdog?
Say that again.
That I'm a fan of the underdog, and that's because makes me a better player.
If you remove Jordan and you remove the other team's best player, the Bulls are going to be better.
yeah, I can say that. I can agree with that. Because you're asking.
Say that one more time.
So if you take Jordan off the Bulls, and then you take
remove the other team's best player, the opponent's best player, the Bulls will be better.
Oh yeah, I think the Bulls would have. I'm not so sure about the Lakers.
The Lakers series?
I'm not so sure.
Are you kidding? If you take Magic off that team,
you take Magic off that team, you take Jordan off the Bulls. You're saying the Bulls would have been better than the Lakers?
Yeah.
Or you saying the other way?
No, the Bulls are better.
The Bulls would have been better than the Lakers. I'm not so sure. I'm either way. I mean, because we're getting away from the go talk.
Yeah, I mean,
LeBron won in 2016. It's all well and good. I mean, okay.
I still ain't win yet.
yeah, we waiting on you.
I'm not shutting it down.
It's on you, Shannon.
All right, so I believe last time Lou gave respect to the bigs. I'm just feeling kind of bad about the bigs not getting that respect.
Okay.
So he gave respect to Wilt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to give some respect to Kareem.
I've done Kareem already too. But you can still.
Oh, you did Kareem already.
Nah, go ahead.
But that's who you got for this week. So you'll
I'm gonna double down because he deserves it.
no question.
He should have been had a statue in Milwaukee and L.A.
Can you tell? I don't know. I'm silent now. What do you do in Milwaukee? I know it's not.
He won a championship.
Won a championship.
Damn. How fast? Like how soon after he was drafted?
Well, I think they won in 71.
Yeah.
So
maybe 2 years, 3 years after he
2 or
was.
3 years. Yeah.
It's Milwaukee though.
Still had Big O there. I mean the Big O.
So
there.
let me run down this.
Count that.
6 NBA championships. That sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
3 NCAA championships. 6 NBA MVP.
Is he still there? Did he cut out on us?
He got a little too excited.
He did. Uh-oh. Oh,
But I
man.
want to go back to this help in 2016. I just don't want to talk about that series. It's just, oh my God. But anyway,
I mean, they had 3 chances to win, so like I'm not.
they had 3 chances.
I'm not gonna.
One without their, we say what Steph was the engine of that team.
Steph may have been the engine, but Draymond
is like what for transmission.
the conductor and when to push and when to pull back and all that shit.
It's just that first game. Okay, they lose that game. Second game, momentum was fucked up. I mean, it's still LeBron James and
But
Kyrie Irving.
they was in
Kevin Love.
yeah. I mean, for
And
me,
in Game 7, I mean, that was. I mean, it was down to the wire. You know, LeBron made a nice little block there. And, I just think the shot is big. I'm sorry. In my opinion, but yeah.
oh man.
You said the shot was fixed?
No, I said I think the shot was bigger.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, of course, the shot was bigger because it
Because I actually
was
put
the shot
points on
But,
the board, right?
But like that block was pretty fucking big.
It was a good block. It was a good block. I mean, see, that's the thing. Where it keeps getting misconstrued. I'm not taking away from the block. Not at all. But to say that I don't think that was without the shot, the block doesn't happen, right?
Without the block, the shot doesn't matter.
What year was that championship?
That was 16.
2016.
Without 2011, you don't have 2016.
I mean, but without the block, the shot doesn't matter because the whole game is played differently because the Warriors are now up. I believe they was gonna go up 4.
Hey, I'm with you, fine.
On that, hold on. So the shot was before or after the block?
The shot was after the block, but the block they were getting ready to go up.
Okay. See, then that's where I get thrown off because I'm thinking the shot was shot. Warriors got. I get it now. I see the
Wait. The entire time you thought he came afterwards?
I went to sleep on that game. I didn't care.
I wish Shannon was here. Oh, I wish Shannon. Shannon, are you here?
I really didn't care because I knew the fix was in.
I can't wait till Shannon hears this.
I've said this multiple times. I was asleep.
Yeah, and since then you held a grudge against this man because you thought the sequence was one way.
No, there was no grudge. See, and that's where.
No, because Olu, we always say this. But Olu, this is not the first time Fonzie said the block set up the shot. He said it every time we talk about this on Go Talk. And it wasn't until today, that moment, you go, wait a minute.
No, I've done that before. I just like, in my mind, I just like to think the shot came after, the block came after the shot. That's just in my mind.
I'll let Alphonse connect the fact that
that's just what I like to do. Yeah, I'm sorry. But
the shot, for me, I was watching that game, and I thought the Warriors were still going to win up until the block. Because, like, you know, at that point, was 2016, so I'm over 30, so it's like, oh shit, this is that moment, like when they showing the movie or you're looking at this is the moment. So when when the block happened, it was like, oh, Cleveland might actually win this shit. So like maybe you had to see it because maybe you had a different view of it, but like just watching it is.
He answered the question, bro.
I dozed off at some point in the fourth quarter.
That's exactly why he's a fan.
Like,
that's exactly why he be hating.
That shit was.
He don't hit.
See, there you go. There you go.
That's why you be hating, bro.
That shit.
No hate.
There is
no hate.
If you would have saw that live, you would have a different feeling. That's all it is.
Like that was.
LeBron James made a LeBron James play. Oh God! Oh my God!
You ain't see the emotion.
All
You
right,
ain't see how
man.
serious it was. You ain't see the gravity of the situation.
Look,
Because you'd have thought. Because here's how I know. Because if that was the situation, and if you still mad at him in 2011, you would have watched that episode.
I'm not mad at him in 2011.
Here's what I'm saying. You don't see. This is what I'm saying. Remember my whole soliloquy about how far you go and how high you rise. I've seen him continue to rise, and I saw live action. And I knew what it meant in that moment because they were going to lose again. And if you would have been watching that same game live, you would have said, "Oh, he's going to do some bum shit like he did in 2011." You would have said as a side comment.
No, I wouldn't have done that. That's totally different. We've seen so different from LeBron after 2012, 13, and 14. No.
So,
Olu,
said that. What does he have to do for you to negate 2011?
There's no negating it. It's on the record.
He can't. But that's my biggest thing about like. So you expect him to be? You expect and like that's what Jordan.
Kobe can't take 2008 off his record. It's on the record.
But you don't hold him. You don't hold that back from holding him in regard.
Correct.
You know why I don't? Because Kobe showed up. They got blown out by 30-some points in game 6. Mm-hmm. Kobe had 36 points himself. Like people like to talk about the game.
Let me go look up
against Phoenix.
Let me go look up game 4 though.
Mm-hmm. But so why you doing that? People like to talk about game 7 in Phoenix. Was it the game 7 where he refused to shoot the ball? He just was passing the ball. He scored 50 the game before, and they lost, and they blamed it on him. He didn't pass it enough to his teammates. Oh, I didn't pass it enough to my... And that's why. Those type of people like that, like, oh, yeah, that's what it is? Fuck you. Watch how I'm going to do this. And I don't care if we lose because I'm going to prove my point. That right there showed me his greatness. That was Kobe's moment showing me how great he was. To me.
So my thing is, okay, game 4 of 2008, they gave up a 20-point lead and lost.
They did give up a 20-point lead, yes.
Kobe only had 17 points.
He had a bad game.
That's never held against him.
Where is Shannon?
It happened.
Where is Shannon?
LeBron had 3 straight bad games. 3 straight.
I'm just saying, like that's that. Like
he also had a bad game, and he only scored 17 point, 20 something point. What was it, 17 something like that in game 7, 2 years later. But he also had an impact on the game from a non-scoring standpoint, and he hit some big shots in the fourth quarter while he was having a bad game.
Who is this?
Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
In the same game, he had 15 rebounds and the assist on the go-ahead bucket. Don't forget Ron Artest's biggest moment in the NBA.
Yeah, in that game he had
Kobe passed me the ball.
He had 23 though,
and a lot of those were free throws that came in the fourth quarter.
I mean,
he had quote unquote as far as Kobe Bryant says, he had a bad game from a scoring standpoint,
right?
But still put enough impact on the game.
No, he had a bad game shooting. But my point is, in that game 4, that shit was terrible, and they gave up a 20-point lead at home to go down 3-1. I remember that game because that shit.
I remember that game too. But it's never played it in the quarantine.
It's never held against Kobe the same way. That's just the whole thing, and that's because of how people.
About one game though.
It turned the series. It was the deciding game of the series.
I get it, but we talking about. So why 2011 is such a blemish to me? You were up 2-1, and when you talk about the baseball guys, we talk about the basketball guys.
I know what you doing.
They doing all of that, and then you had 3 straight games as the best player in the league, the best player in the world, and you did not show up to your standards for 3 straight games. Like I said, quarters. A game, like we seen Magic have a meltdown, game 7, or that was game 6 in '84, and just
Magic.
Dribble
they ain't call him that. They don't call him that no more. Tragic Magic, and they don't call him
Tragic
that no
Johnson. You know what I mean? We've seen players had bad games. 3 straight games in the finals. We've never seen that from the best player in the league. We've never seen that ever.
Magic was allowed to come back though.
Everybody's allowed to come back. It's But it's still people still talk about Tragic Johnson.
But that never stopped him from ascending to number 2 on Kenny Smith's list.
And I'm not saying that LeBron let him stop it. But when it comes to this GOAT conversation, with the people in the conversation, we're talking about, oh, Mike had these bad games against the Pistons. The Pistons was knocking him on his ass. He came back, he got better, and then when he got to that point, he never looked back.
What I'm saying is, we just said Kenny Smith has his list, and I don't even think it was Magic. I think it was Oscar. But Magic, if we say Magic was number 2, Magic had a bad finals, and he still got to be number 2.
A bad finals or a bad sequence in the game. At the end of the game, I don't think for the whole finals he was bad.
I go back and look. I don't think that was his finest moment. They didn't just name him Tragic because of one situation. I don't think that's how that works. Like,
so but even still, Magic's not in this conversation though.
Who did Kenny have? So you said LeBron was 10, and who wasn't on the list? Or LeBron wasn't on the list?
Kobe was 11.
Who was 3 through 9?
Wilt, Oscar. No, Oscar was number 2, I believe. Wilt. Hold up. Yeah. Oh wait. Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, Russell, Wilt, Magic. Did I say Oscar Robertson?
Yeah.
Jerry West.
A lot of people say that about Jerry West, but Jerry West was kind of man back then.
But like he's doing this like he a backpacker. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that would be like my hip hop list. Be like, you know.
Yeah, he going with the classics.
He going with the underground cuts. I dig it. I guess they might want to do it to.
Jerry West didn't win the Finals MVP in the Finals that he lost. I mean, he was the logo for a reason.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it. Nah. So.
Did we know the talker? Oh, we ain't talking about Maker. I know we got.
Yeah.
McCord. Let's get his name right. McCord Maker.
Thank you, brother.
Well, yep. I mean, real quick, I do want to say
that. To be a Bison brethren.
Yes. I thought it was interesting when he did his interview about when he came on his visit. That's what cinched it for him, and that's what made it click.
It was
homecoming, yeah. So
that's what I was telling some non-Bison about that. Yeah. I wouldn't have him come through homecoming and think that that's what it is all the time. But that's not the point,
right?
Because it's not just about the parties. I mean, they're not just having them in, you know what I'm saying, in the mix. It's about the legacy, the vibe, pageantry, right. The vibe, the sense of community and family that you get from being there in the second or third or fourth week of October.
But Lou, you don't get that if you don't have the rest. You see what I'm saying? So it's hand in hand.
Yeah. They were just trying to make it seem like that was it all. We partying like on some he got game sort of type of thing. You know what I mean?
But but it is. No, it is. Like it is that. It means in terms of like, oh, he only went because he only went because they had a good ass time. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. The reason why we have a good ass time is because of everything else and how it is. Yeah, that's why we have a good ass. Like, yeah, I went here. So they're right. That we did some black shit because it was a beautiful black shit. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. We could definitely go more into detail. I just think, one, we already talked about how we already thought it was a 3-year clock. To me, it's immediate.
No, I want my credit.
Go ahead, take it, man.
Episodes ago, I said, when there's one player, he ain't got to be as good as Mikey, but he's got to be, you know what I'm saying, kind of good to get folks to come in. I don't know his ranking because I'm sideline guy, but I know he's not he's number 1 recruit.
He was 17.
See, he ain't, as I said, and go back to
but he's pretty good. So yeah, he did say that. He's pretty good.
It certainly eclipsed what I was thinking. But I damn sure was like we should do it on the first year. Because by the time we get to Mikey, it's like kind of like a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, you did say that. I remember that.
I knew he was signing. I knew it. McCall.
You knew? I didn't even.
I knew for a fact that
if I saw that photo when it happened, I've been on Olu's same position. I didn't see that photo until like recently.
I didn't see it. He went that weekend.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Bro, if you go this weekend and then you choose to go somewhere else, all right, man. But all right. Somebody actually did do that. That's the other recruit, the number 11 recruit. I can't remember his name. His name is irrelevant at this point because he's going to Arizona State.
Yes,
he did the same thing, but yeah, I mean.
Wait, I do have a question. Is that because, like, for instance, the tennis version is done in the spring because you want to see the tennis team play. Yeah, I guess, yeah. But this basketball's not in season during that time. I was just basketball.
It's not
football.
It's not.
So they intentionally did that then. I wonder how they do it all the time.
There's two signing periods, and that's why they did it. So there's an early signing period.
Okay.
And I think then there's one like. I want to say ended January or something. There's like a secondary signing period. And so I think he came on like that first signing period. And you get him in, you show him the campus. And if it's around Midnight Madness, then that's how they get them in. And that's how they kind of link it to the basketball. So I don't know when Howard's Midnight Madness was. But I do remember Midnight Madness starting in October's for different schools.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, hey, HBCUs, whenever your homecoming is, adjust the schedule to sync it up with the recruitment cycle, and you're going to start getting these brothers, because apparently that's all you need to do.
Well, yeah.
Because imagine A&T. I ain't never been to an A&T joint. I just heard about it. So I know if you go to A&T homecoming, you're going to sign. Just, because that's A&T. Like, I can just imagine.
No slight, but they're still not the house.
I'm about to say, like,
no. Understood. I know what I'm saying. I dig it. I'm just saying, I can see some folks of a certain caliber signing too. So I'm going to encourage all HBCUs to employ the same mechanisms that we did.
I mean, I understand. I just, look, like how we make this possible, how we, like what they need, like that's where I'm at with it. Just me as an alumni, like, and not necessarily going through like the this booster. No, I think we need, again, the way y'all said, and this is why I can understand. Earlier y'all said just keep striking matches. That's how I'm at with this, like, alumni boosting situation, quote unquote. But like, look, we got a group here, you want to do this, or whatever.
That's how it's going to be. It's going to, plus that becomes a competition. It's like, now with my squad raised this, like that's how, like you said, the burns a match. So yeah, it's attacking from all sides.
So we'll wrap up here. I feel like by the time next time we post it, we'll have more stuff about this, because we definitely didn't even talk about the transfer who ended up at Morgan State. So as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. Yeah, the next episode is gonna be about this. I want to give it a nice name too. I want to give it like a flashy name, but basically getting our athletes back to HBCUs. So that's what the next episode will be on. I will go ahead. Today is the 9th. We'll go ahead and say before the.
You give it one before the game?
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. I was thinking within the week. So before the 16th, we'll have that episode flushed out for you.
Oh, bet.
So gentlemen, thank you once again. It's always a pleasure, man. Always a good time.
Sure, my pleasure, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Definitely breaking up the monotony of this home quarantine life. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate those who decided to join in and listen to us. We hope that you enjoyed it. And until next time, peace.
Peace.
Later.
At Burger King, we're updating our safety procedures with you in mind. So we're checking our employees' temperatures every day and wearing masks and gloves at all times, while continuing contactless drive-through and delivery. Let's keep taking care of each other.
Frisky's World. Look at that. It's made with real farm-raised chicken. I gotta get my paws on that. It's Frisky's farm favorites. The